Hi, I'm Ben from Legendary Studios, and today we're going to go over current Canadian pyramid schemes that you absolutely need to avoid. For those that don't know, a pyramid scheme is a form of fraudulent investment which mainly involves people participating in recruiting 2 to more people to earn a profit. Problem is, a lot of people in these sorts of endeavors, usually the only people that actually make money in the top, because a lot of either MLNs or pyramid schemes incentivized by recruiting downwards. The more downwards they go, the more money that they make. The thing is, though, a lot of the people that lose out are usually the people on the bottom, and the only people that actually really prosper from this are the people that managers that even made the pyramid schemes in the first place, because it's usually not sustainable enough if it goes all the way down to the point where it's overcompensated. Now, a lot of pyramid schemes of today are actually disguised as either MLNs or direct sales companies, but there's usually a big difference between having to sell or promote a specific product and a company that focuses on making profit more on its distributors than on the actual customers that they sell their stuff to. Now, in order to prevent you from being scammed by these companies, I'm going to be going over some common red flags that you need to look out for. First red flag, they pressure you with a sense of urgency to join as soon as you can. The company focuses and compensates more on recruiting than they actually do selling their product. They promise huge amounts of income in a more or less get-rich-quick type of style. The company requires you to pay a minimum amount of product or pay for entry before you even have the chance of selling anything. The company has a complicated, if not vague, payment or compensation structure. Now, knowing that, here are all the pyramid scheme MLNs that are currently operating within Canada. First off, we got the infamous World Financial Group, which is a scammy MLN that focuses on selling investment and insurance plans. Now, the way that this business is really shady is not only the fact that it really focuses on, doesn't give you leads, it focuses on recruiting all families and friends, and the fact that the compensation and pay structure is a very point-based system where you earn a certain amount of points when you sell their quota amount of services, as well as recruit people into the structure and get the people that you recruit under their own people that they sell and recruit, which is a really bad structure, especially the 553, because you need to get a lot of people involved in order to actually make any money. Funny story, actually, I was once almost recruited by a WFG agency right here in Calgary. So what happens is, I think in 2019, I was still looking for a job at the time, and found this random insurance place called WFG, and they were really focusing me on pushing or peddling a health insurance product at the time. And there was already setting red flags in my head, because coming from my background, for those that don't know me, I actually had a pretty long-term sales background, and because I've studied a lot of different things and working for direct sales companies or different companies, that I know for a fact, because I've worked with so many sleazy salespeople in the past, that I know when someone's trying to sell me bullshit. So when I first walked in, and the first thing that happens is I go through an interview and I get set up for another meeting. The one thing that they've tried to done is give me their point-based structure and tried to get me to buy their insurance course so I can get my license. And after I get my license, I can then work my way to the top. But then I realized a lot of it's a ripoff because the only people that actually earn money are the owners of the different WFG franchises. Next up, we got Herbalife, which seems really popular, at least at the time, with a lot of Instagram and social media health and fitness influencers, where all Herbalife is a bunch of nutritional products that they sell with a pyramid or MLM type of structure. Now, it's debatable because there's some people that actually do like the product and the smoothie mixes. Although granted, there's also been a lot of cases where it caused health effects. I know one place, I think one incident in the States, someone ended up actually getting lead poisoning or something from one of the shakes. Now, the way that Herbalife is really shady on their part, especially the ones that operate here in Canada, is the fact that a lot of the representatives actually lie about, or get the new recruits to lie, trying to sell or peddle a product any way they can. And a lot of Herbalife's compensation plan is really vague and completely inaccurate, and a lot of the representatives make far less than what the company actually advertises that they can do. So the only thing that Herbalife's really good for is a very mediocre nutrition product at best that really tries to hard sell friends and families by pushing a really competitive as well as unfair MLM structure. Next up is Primerica, which is another insurance MLM that's just slightly less shady than World Financial Group, because they have more, at least as far as I've researched, they have slightly more of a direct compensation plan. But besides that fact, they're not just some typical insurance company, because kind of the big red flag if you're working for an MLM insurance company is they're like way too fucking easy to get into, where you can easily get into, pay, get your license, and then get out of there. Usually, at least far to my experience, it's a very tedious process to even become an insurance sales rep in the first place, because you have to go through tons of different qualifications and certificates to actually work for a good insurance company. So what Primerica mainly focuses on, though, is not really one thing. They don't have leads, and they really pressure to get the friends and family to actually like get insurance, which is not really a good way to get leads, other than the occasional person that actually happens to want to get life insurance. But what Primerica mainly focuses or compensates on more is mainly their pay structure to recruit downwards, which they actually really focus on more than anything, and that honestly makes it more of a con than their direct payment structure. Oh boy, this is a doozy. Next up, we have ACN, which is, at least I know by far, one of the biggest long-running MLMs that you can see out there. Now, ACN, it has a very shady structure, pyramid scheme structure, based off of selling reoccurring internet, gas, electricity, security providers, a lot of like long-term contract services. Now, the problem is that you can even see this in their own videos where they try to recruit people using a presentation where it's heavily compensated on getting a recurring income from recruiting people top down from you and then having them recruit top down. Now, obviously, that's a problem because a lot of pyramid schemes, usually the bottom collapses and makes money because it just can't like sustain itself if it's completely overcompensated. And that's why only the owners or the top people even make money in ACN. And a lot of people, even in like local towns like my town that they recruit in, just like lose money right off the bat. Funny personal story, me and Jacob at the time were working with this web development guy in Calgary, and before later finding out that the guy was just a complete fraud or con artist, what he tried to do was actually like get us into an ACN right here in Calgary, and we went through the presentation. I honestly didn't take it that seriously because a lot of common things about these like faulty MLN like presentations is you can obviously tell that the people that act like the successful people, they're either we actually researched, and they're either like the owners of the branch themselves pretending to be, or they're just like paid actors acting like they are the richest ones that work for ACN, and you could be rich like us too, like kind of bullshit. So it's funny that the previous guy that we're trying to work with was desperate in their business enough that they had to actually resort to trying to fund themselves through a scammy MLN, and that and a couple other decisions is probably why we like just stopped working for them, because but that's a funny personal experience with ACN. Next up is doTERRA, which is a famous MLN that mainly focuses on selling essential oils in their pyramid-like structure. Now, a lot of problems that have been happening with doTERRA is mainly due to the fact that they have really expensive wholesale packages that they require their distributors to purchase in the first place in order to be able to have the chance of selling their product. But not only that, they have a very confusing payment and compensation structure that depends on all the levels that you're actually supposed to work upwards in order to make an income. A lot of it's pretty falsely because they actually make less at a certain level than what's advertised. But not only that is the fact that they actually focus on selling and pressuring people to actually buy these products more than they actually do get their sales rep to talk about safety features and all that. And a lot of doTERRA don't even have what they need to do, what their proper safety features are, or what oils they can take on their website. They're mainly just in the business of peddling essential oils instead of presenting themselves as health experts in this industry. Next up is Amway, which is actually, I believe, one of the longest running MLN scams out there, like 130 years. Now, a lot of the problems that I've seen with Amway, other than them having like lawsuits left and right, especially the one in Canada, is the fact that Amway is way too overcompensated. Amway tries to sell pretty much everything from different beauty to hair to nutrient products. So a lot of the representatives actually don't know shit about what they're actually trying to sell, which is obviously a red flag, because a lot of people that are salespeople, even in a specific industry, should at least become comfortable in knowing what the product, service, or what they're selling, anything about what they're actually selling, instead of having to bullshit their way through. Now that's why Amway makes billions of dollars off of their own distributors, because a lot of their distributors have a hard time selling their product because they only work in or they're really only good in one specific area, and having them sell multiple things makes them look like a chicken with their head cut off, and makes it hard to sell all their bulk products at once without finding a way to basically recruit friends and family. Another fun fact about Amway, way before they actually got into Canada in the 70s or 80s, if not so on, they've been investigated by the FCC numerous times for different fraudulent acts, if not proper labor laws that they've violated because of the structure that Amway has to sell its products. Overall, Amway is not a company that you would like working for. Next up, we have one that not a lot of people have heard about, is Life Leaders. Now, Life Leaders is a MLM that focuses around selling self-help and motivation DVDs or courses through a MLM or pyramid structure. Now, as far as I know, doing a bit of research into this, their actual DVD courses are okay, if not good at bad. Like, apparently what I've seen is they actually have good information. But the problem is that they have a really shady sales structure, and they like barely get any offices around, and a lot of their distributors don't even make that much money. They make like pennies, if not less than pennies on the dime, if not lose money, trying to push a self-help product over to people that don't necessarily need it. Funny enough, if they just decided to ditch an MLM structure and just sold it as an online course, they would have honestly made a lot more money selling their products online than they would have in a shady MLM structure that they have. Another one that's just as popular with influencers as Herbalife, Airborne International, which is, surprise, another beauty and health MLM. Now, just like Amway, it's actually overcompensated and overcompetitive, considering the fact that it's all widespread amount of products in different categories. Now, a lot of shady stuff that they do, other than the fact that they still recruit downwards like any other pyramid structure MLM, is the fact that they really try to sucker young girls in, that young girls or young popular girls, to be part of this specific MLM by doing different types of cold direct messaging methods of advertising, where you'd get someone from, like, let's just say some popular chick from high school DM you to join or to peddle this type of beauty product, and then they're even more vague on the way you get paid or the compensation plan, and really a lot of the distributors are mistreated and way underpaid for their own good. And also, because their product and categories are so widespread, that a lot of the distributors that they recruit have no qualification or expertise in actually selling these type of products, and sell based off of a script that the company gives to them. Next up, we got the infamous Mary Kay, which is a pyramid MLM company that's structured around selling beauty and makeup products. Now, a lot of controversial stuff has happened with Mary Kay, mainly due to the fact that they focus only on their top people, and that like 90% of people that are involved in Mary Kay lose more money than they actually gain out of it. There's a few interesting things that actually happened with Mary Kay. First of all, there was a lawsuit that was declared because a director that was a top producer at the time ended up getting fired like that because she had to take time off to go through chemotherapy treatment, and because she didn't hit minimum sales quota to make her worth it, even if she was going through a bad time, she was ticked off like that. The only way that Mary Kay gave a shit was when the director actually filed a lawsuit over to the company's scandals. You even see Mary Kay businesses shutting down left and right. A lot of Mary Kay actually ended up going out of business and leaving countries such as Australia and New Zealand already. It's only a matter of time before they decided to go out in North America and Europe and everywhere else. Last but not least, drum roll please. Ta-da! We have Avon, another beauty and health company. Now, honestly, I'm like so surprised because of the fact that out of all the companies that I've presented to you so far, 6 of them are beauty, health, and different beauty and health companies. Like, out of more than anything, the real people that are getting ripped off are the ladies out here, because there's a lot of different supplement to health to beauty MLM scams that are just taking advantage of these ladies, and it's actually kind of sad. But let's not get off topic. What we have is Avon, which is obviously up next. Obviously, we got Avon, which, as you know, actually sells a lot of different beauty products and focuses fairly on their top-down structure and the fact that they try to recruit influencers as well as get other females to actually push and peddle their products. So when it comes to beauty or supplement MLMs, you gotta hide your daughter and hide your wife. That's why at the end of the day, you always gotta be careful when actually looking around or working for these type of companies, because the way that they present themselves, if they look too good to actually be true, then 9 out of 10 times they usually are. And that's why sometimes you have to question what you're told or what you heard, and only go to the direct, and always go to the direct facts of what a company actually does before you work for them. Now that's pretty much it. If anybody has any personal stories on what it's like actually working for these type of companies, then make sure you comment that experience down below, as well as if you like more series like this, then make sure you absolutely obliterate that like button, as well as make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell to make sure that you're updated on all of our future content.